Another quick episode of Dean talking at the camera. So, yeah, it was a crazy week this past week. Today is Sunday the 16th, but did two quick college career fairs, bunch of door to door, a ridiculous amount of interviews. I don't know. I think 2 weeks ago I did like 50 interviews last week. You know, some of them are group, right? Some of them are group interviews, but this last week did another probably 20 interviews, bunch of three different career fairs, a bunch of door to door. I think I sold like I don't have the numbers, but whatever, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 grand or something this week in door to door revenue. Nothing crazy. I went out for one, two, three, like for more or less like 2.5 days, not even. But so that was pretty solid. And then yeah, just getting ready for the year. There's been a lot of back end stuff, right? Because doing that, still rocking the old shirt, though not the full circle services shirt, but it's been a lot going on the back end because growing building the door to door community, which has been awesome. But then also on the flip side of that, we got to build out the operations to handle it. So we just switched softwares. We should have switched softwares over the winter, but we ended up doing it like end of February because, long story short, is field routes didn't end up working out for what we needed. So we had to switch to Real Green, and so it's just been a total nightmare. Now it's getting done. Like we're almost there. We've gotten everything set up except I think almost everything set up except the token transfer, which is transferring the credit cards, which is a pain because Service Autopilot's payment processor clearing is a nightmare to get the stuff transferred over. When we had to we tried to transfer it over to Field Routes before we decided it wasn't going to work, and the data they sent didn't include customer info. It was just credit card. Like it was like it's the secure transfers through from credit card company to credit card company. It's a token transfer. And so it's like all secure documents. Like I didn't see them, but what they said was that when they sent it to the payments team, when they sent the documents, the credit cards weren't attached to names. So it was just credit cards and no names of customers. So it means that we can't actually transfer them, which is ridiculous. So we'll see how we can figure that out, how to make that happen. We're still paying them to do it too. Like we pay Clearant to do it, and we pay the other company to receive them. So I don't know. I mean, that's a lot of credit card processing fees. So I'm sure they're not happy about losing the business, but whatever. We'll figure that out. For right now, we're just charging credit cards in the old software, and then doing all the invoicing in the new software. So it's just a little more painful on the office side. On the office side, we brought in a new assistant, which is awesome. So she's in training right now. Our current office, person, our current customer service rep, office or administrative assistant, offices, whatever you want to call it. She's on her way to be promoted to office manager. She's taking on a bunch more responsibility from me and a bunch of responsibility from our production manager. And because I'm going to be on the doors all year, and he's going to be out treating lawns, just because we don't have as many people, so like there's no need to be in the office all day for him, or for me really. But so yeah, we're rocking on that, just getting that all set up. That's been fun. We just picked up our first sprayer, so our first like liquid sprayer, which I'm stoked about because we're gonna do a lot of liquid treatments this year. A lot of reasons. There's pros and cons to liquid versus granular. I think the best case scenario. Well, it depends on the application. Short version is it depends on the applications, but the liquid is unmatched for weed control, especially if you're gonna do a blanket treatment for weed control. Totally unmatched. A lot of clients also just don't like the granular pellets, which is funny on their lawns, but. Yeah, so that'll be really cool. So we're gonna start using that. We have on Monday we're gonna be meeting with a new supplier that we're using, and they're gonna be showing us how to use the liquid machine. It's a 200-gallon space saver tank, so it's the ones that kind of come up and out the top of the truck, and then it's got a 100-gallon whatever you want to call it, feeder tank that's gonna go along with it. And so what we're gonna do is mix, and this is the plan as of right now, is have the 200-gallon tank be the normal product. Sorry. The 200-gallon tank be the normal product, and then the 100-gallon tank be the normal product with herbicide for blanket treatments if we're not blanket treating that round. So that way any new customers we sign up with door-to-door, we can get their first application done as a blanket treatment and really knock down all their weeds so they see instant results, which I'm stoked about. And yeah, so that'll be really cool. And that's kind of the gist there. As far as operationally, it's going to be a fun. Going to be a lot to do, just because we have to go from we're going to be adding like probably 4 or 5 trucks this year, so it's going to be a lot of hiring people. We're in the process right now of hiring the first person that we're going to be bringing on, who's going to be getting trained through the beginning of April. Then we're basically every month this year, so like April, May, June, July, August, we're going to be hiring people every month, maybe even 2 a month. for one of them just as we scale. So it's going to be a lot of new people. We have a really killer training process dialed in, a process so they can get their test passed. Our production manager is working on everything to make sure that they can pass. That's one of the things he's doing now is like study guides and all that to help them pass their tests to be applicators. So that's awesome. And then beyond that, as far as buying trucks, we'll figure it out. I mean, I love the idea of Ford Mavericks, but like tough weight wise. So I think definitely we'll have to do F-150s for 200-gallon tanks. If I really love the 300-gallon tanks at 200 plus the 100, then we'll have to get 250s. It just gets kind of pricey to get a bunch of 250s. Or we could always look at custom trucks like some companies do, like Isuzus and whatnot. But cool thing about fertilizing weed control too is, especially if you have a truck that's dialed in, like one truck can do a lot of revenue, so it can offset the cost for itself, which is cool. Especially if you get good terms on on the loans and everything else. But that'll be fun. So we're having a production meeting on Monday that I'm going to go through all that with. Other than that, I wanted to go over door-to-door team. Been doing a lot of training there. So I flew out to Utah a bunch of times this winter. I think I went there 3 separate times for the door-to-door con and then 2 different DDDU boot camps. So just been learning a ton. Have all the processes, getting them pretty dialed in. We have 2 sales reps currently out knocking. They just started to learn how to sell. And then I have another 3 starting Monday next week, another 1 or 2 so far starting the following Monday. So just starting to kind of ramp up there, which I'm really excited for because it's a killer opportunity for them, like a great job, a lot of money to be made for them, helps the company a lot. So we do a ton of training to teach people how to sell, how to knock doors, how to build leadership skills. Like what I would say to them is we're a personal development leadership company that happens to make grass green. It's just kind of a jest, but like. It's true though. Like we do a lot for them. Got a lot of really cool merch coming in. Obviously, I'm wearing some of the old stuff. My polos are all in the wash because I was knocking a couple days this week in the career fairs. But got a bunch of new merch, a bunch of cool hats. So stoked about that. And then just rolling. Other thing is we have for our office situation. Long story short. The landlord at our current office is not letting us put Christmas lights. We had this awesome pink lights, and like everybody who drove by would see them. In the neighborhoods I've been knocking in, talking to people. They're like, oh, you got the pink lights on the office. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, those are awesome. Like, actually, we can't have them anymore. Like, oh no. So they're not letting us do that. They're not letting us put lights on our sign outside, and they raised our rent 35%. So like that's tough. So we're figuring out how we can navigate that. And looking at somewhere we can store the trucks and have the office at the same place, which is really cool, like some sort of garage or flex space like a warehouse, because we no longer need the landscaping or mowing stuff. Like we don't need as much parking. We need a lot more. We need room to store products though, so we need to have somewhere we can put a big tank of water, like 1,000-gallon tank of water, and then we also need somewhere that we can store all the products, so like all the stuff on shelving and all that. So that's pretty cool there. Yeah, that's the gist of what I got going on. Just scaling, just growing, and it's been a lot of fun, but just a lot of work for me. Like I think I definitely need a VA. We'll see if our new the new CSR that we have, who's going to do just a lot of the customer service side of things, like replying to voicemails, calling people back that request information. We're not going to do anything really with inside sales a ton this year. Maybe have an intern do it. An intern or 2 help with some inside sales over the summer. But as far as a year-round thing, we're just going to have the office do it for now. We'll worry about that next year. Like I'm going to worry about a lot of the Facebook ads, a lot of the advertising stuff next year. This year is really big on door-to-door for me, and that's my plan is door-to-door. I'm still going to sell $1 million this year. I've sold like 27 or something thousand so far. I'm going to start April 1, or probably March 31 in in 2 weeks or so. Start knocking 6 days a week until I hit the goal. But I basically have 2 weeks to really get everything prepped and dialed in. So that way, by the time I start actually knocking, we can just scale up and have all the systems in place. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun year. I definitely think I need a virtual assistant or just an assistant though, because I spend a lot of time just doing a lot of scheduling and admin stuff and back and forth with people. And I think if I could free that up, that'd be pretty cool. But also, it's like, do I want to invest payroll on that? Like, probably not. So we'll figure that part out. But yeah, that's what I got going on. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and catch you in the next one.